Vegas, is it right?
Peace, peace, everyone. Oh, yes, I am in Vegas. I
Mm,
am located in the casino town where all the fun is happening.
mm,
So, which I like. I like Vegas. It's very relaxing and stuff. But I'm always thinking about going overseas and stuff, like
mm,
where
mm.
you're at and seeing what's going on because
Okay.
I don't know. A lot is going on in the U.S. Oh, let me introduce you first, y'all. I'll get into a tangent. So, Daniel is our guest today, everybody, and he is from Switzerland, Geneva, which is real interesting. He is a creator, visionary, and philanthropist, and he's going to teach us how to have some heaven on earth because life it ain't easy. It's not for the faint of the heart, and we got to figure out. It's funny because growing up, my mom always told me you live in heaven on earth, and I'm just like, huh? I'm not in heaven yet. I can't just
Mm,
chill and read my book when I want and sip my wine and I gotta go to work. How am I
mm.
heaven on earth? What are your thoughts on that, Daniel?
Mm. Well, I would say heaven on earth is well, it depends. I guess like everybody could have a different definition for heaven on earth, like at Transfigured Universe, like the organization we founded, we like to talk about heaven on earth as basically living a life that is true to yourself, and that encompasses everything. So there's periods where you have nice drinks, you're just on your porch, on the farm, or whatever, enjoying yourself. But that also includes traveling, having a great life, but also like doing something that is meaningful to you and that is also beneficial for other people around you or the world, for your community. So it's basically like a lifestyle in which that you feel fulfilled doing it.
I like that. Because a lot of times people have this warped definition of success, like, oh, I need the Maybach, I need the Mercedes and stuff, but yet maybe that's not even what you wanted at the raw. It's like, what is the piece for you? So I like that you said that. And is that what made you create this group, the transfigurative community? Is it because you realized that people needed some like push or some help?
Yeah, just like it can be helped, but also just like the connection, with like-minded people. Like
Mm,
something that I always repeat is just to say that like I don't even think that people need that much information because like we live in an age with internet. There's so many books out there, great speakers,
mhm,
people that have like laid out a lot of wisdom and knowledge, but usually like you have a hard time to find the people that are on this journey with you, that can encourage you, hold you accountable for certain things. And within our community we also like to create synergies between people for them to collaborate and co-create projects and brand and businesses or initiatives that are dear to them. Because and it really started from a place where I was on this journey by myself. When I started out, like
mhm.
I always wanted to become a professional athlete, for example, which I then ended up becoming a professional soccer player in Italy.
Mm,
And for me, that was like a lonely journey, because nobody in my
mhm,
family would believe it. They would say I need to go to school, study, I need to go to college, university, and all of these things. But that was not what my heart was calling for. And at the end of the day, like with a lot of passion and motivation, and just because like I was such a dreamer and I just couldn't settle
mm,
for less, I still kind of made it happen by the grace of God. But it was a lonely journey, and looking
mhm,
back, I was like, was that really necessary? Maybe yes, because it also helped me with personal growth and spiritual growth and all of that. But I'm just like, what if we can create like a community where such kind of people come together? Like everybody's on their journey, trying to discover who they are, trying to figure out what they truly want to do. And since there are other people doing the same for them in their passion, you don't feel alone anymore, and you can encourage each
mm.
other and end up, yeah, why not, if there are like synergies, also create stuff together, and this
Yeah.
is really like what our community stands for, and this building.
I love that. Now, is this community just online or is it like in person where people do meetups and stuff and
Mm.
collaborate and stuff?
Yeah, so for the majority of it, I would say it's online. We only started this year, actually, like a few
Oh,
months back.
congratulations.
Thank you. And yeah, so starting out slowly, and like we are trying to grow it with putting ourselves out there, content, being on podcasts, connecting to like-minded people, things like that. So it is happening online, where we have like community meetings, we call them, everyone tuning in, sharing their life stories, encouraging each other, so on and so forth. And then we are also I think in the next coming year, we are also going to make an effort to see how we can make it physical as well with local meetups, you know.
Yeah.
But like we would need like grow a little bit more, where we have like enough people from the same region, and then we will be able to facilitate physical meetups as well.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And how is it living in Switzerland? Were you born in Switzerland or was it you born somewhere else?
Yeah, no, I was born in Switzerland, in Zurich, in the
Hmm.
German-speaking part. So now I live in Geneva, in the French-speaking part. But originally, I'm from Congo, DRC. So my parents
Mm.
are both, African. But yeah, I'm kind of a Swiss guy in the sense where like I was born here, I grew up here, I speak their language, went to school here, and everything.
Wow. And as a black man, how are you treated over there? I'm just curious because I'm
Uh,
trying to travel different places and I want to know if I'm welcomed. So how does it feel there?
I think in terms of being welcomed, it's like if you would travel here, it wouldn't be like you would be cast out of the country, you know, like there's enough movement happening where like you can be a tourist, you can be visiting and just doing your thing, and that's fine. In terms of, I would say, like making friends and connections and stuff like that with the local Swiss person, like maybe like the average local Swiss person, it might not be that easy just because Switzerland is like a small country, you know, and they're very comfortable in their
Mm.
little nest, you know. And
Yeah.
even for me as a black man, even being born here, I had a hard time growing up. Like I was talking their language, like no accent
Mm.
whatsoever. But obviously, since I didn't look like them, there was always this misconnect, you know? Yeah, disconnect between me and them, and they couldn't really put me into the right box. And that kind of made where um, I never really felt at home in Switzerland, you know, like
Mm.
there was like some sort of familiarity that is there because that's kind of all I have known for quite some time. But in terms of like connecting with people or feeling like being accepted and stuff like that wasn't always the case.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like a really nice place. I think Tina Turner, before she passed, she had got a citizenship out there, and she said she just loved it. She said America was a baby compared to Switzerland.
Yeah, she lived in Switzerland. Actually, that's where I was born in Zurich, and yeah, she had great things to say about Switzerland. Lived here for a long time, and yeah, we have quite some celebrities that settles in Switzerland just
Mm.
because it provides you the privacy, the peace. You know, like people kind of leave you
Mm.
alone, and that was I was mentioning. Like if you just want to do
Mm.
your thing, like Switzerland, yeah, you will have no problems. You know, you would have celebrities
Mm.
sometimes walking around and stuff, and people, it's not that they don't care, but it's just like they're not that hypish type of culture, you know. They would
Yeah.
just say, "Oh, okay, yeah, that celebrity is there," and then they would just move on with their day. And yeah, so for people like that, they actually appreciate Switzerland for that as well.
Oh man, I love it. That's interesting. I'm definitely gonna go on a travel mission because I got a lot of traveling to do. And do
Mm.
you travel often yourself or?
Yeah, I was lucky enough where I was able to travel. Like it was quite, kind of early on. At 16 was the first time when I moved to Italy for
Mm.
my professional soccer career that I was mentioning earlier. So when I
Mm.
became a professional, I had to relocate to Italy because that's where my team was playing. And
Mm,
ever since, I was kind of like a lot on the go. Like it was Italy, then the UK. Also went to Australia for some time, France,
mm,
Africa. Like, yeah, I've been around. Sometimes it would
mm.
be travels, and most of the times it would be for different projects that I was looking into.
Wow. And what lessons have you learned that shaped you from traveling different places?
It's really to be adaptable. Like that's something
Mm,
that's just like kept coming back into my life.
mm,
And it's just because, yeah, different places, different cultures, different customs, different values, like it's everything is just different. And I just like, again, with a Swiss background, like I also have an African background, obviously, so that kind of balanced me
yeah.
out a little bit. But if I would say, like, as a grown Swiss person, that are stuck in their ways, it wasn't always easy to adapt to new things, because Swiss people, they are like kind of a little bit close-minded. So when you would travel, you
Mm,
also to make the effort to kind of keep an open mind and wanting to connect to different people. And during these travels, so that's like a reoccurring theme that came back from me, that you just need to be adaptable and keep moving with the flow.
mm,
Today, I would say that I
mm.
have become adaptable, and yeah, it helps just for everything, not even just for traveling, but just like life can be unexpected, like things happen left and right, and you just have to figure it
It's
out.
always something coming. You know
Yeah.
what? I like that you said that. I was like, did he listen to my podcast episode? Because sometimes I do episodes by myself and I'm just talking, but I talked about adaptability and how it's important to just go with the flow and improv. And sometimes it may mean being a multi hyphenate person. Everybody can't do it, everybody shouldn't do it. It's for certain people, and I think it comes with, if you want to survive, especially for us, well, I don't know, you're so young looking, you might be a Gen Z, I'm not sure, but Gen Z's, millennials, um we're coming into a different time, right? And the music industry has changed, as artists, things have changed for us. So it's about that adaptability is key, and a lot of people don't really know or understand the adaptability piece. They're like, oh man, I can't do this or that. Well, no, you're gonna have to learn another skill so you can get what you want. You got to do things you don't want to do until you get there, and having a high paid skill helps you get there. And what do you say to people out there that's like, man, I'm an artist, they're a singer, just I don't know, they want to live a different life, they don't want to work a 9 to 5, and it's like, how can they get that joy? How can they get to this heaven, this piece of joy? I think it's like, what, rise above the status quo and embody their heavenly version. How can they do that?
Yeah, I really love the question, because I would consider myself a creative person myself, a type of an artist. For me, it was fashion. Like after my
Mm,
professional soccer career, I ventured into fashion, first as a fashion model for a couple of years. And then, like, since there were some things happening in the industry, like, I mean, you
mm.
guys in the States, all about that P. Diddy case and all
Oh
kinds of
gosh.
things coming out nowadays. You just don't know, like, what is happening, like, and
Man.
for me, when I was working in the fashion industry as a model, it was the same. Like just crazy things left, right, and centers. Like you
Mm,
see
mm,
brands behind the scenes, how they
mm,
work. And there's just quite some darkness, and they would kind of try
mm.
to make fit into their agenda. And for me, I came to a point where I just wasn't willing to go with it anymore, and I kind of
Yeah.
had a choice, and that choice was actually then to leave, because they would like put you in front of
Mm,
an ultimatum kind of. And yeah, I made my choice, and it was really bad in the sense where
mm.
I had some fashion colleagues that even took their lives, and stuff like that,
Oh
because
man.
there was just so much pressure, be it like
Mm,
working long hours or like compromising your values. Sometimes you have to
mm.
please certain people, like even sexually and stuff like that. Otherwise, you wouldn't get the
Oh, I
job,
believe that.
catwalk, or
Hmm.
the project, all kinds of stuff. And yeah, so it was really intense. And so once I made the decision to come out of it, I was still passionate about fashion, obviously, and that's where I told myself, okay, if I can't play in their world, in their playground, like let me create my own, you know, and that's where I ventured on a journey to create my own fashion brand with the values that I was missing from that industry, you know, values that actually value the human being, that lets you be yourself, you know, that values uniqueness, that gives freedom to creative expressions and stuff like that. And that's then the brand that I went on creating. And we try to incorporate that in our products, the way we communicate our message, the way we do things. We really want people to feel that hey, like it is okay to be yourself, to work at peace, to be creative, and to, yeah, to defy the status
Hmm.
quo, you know. So for me, to answer your question, is it's really like, in a way, yeah, like I talked a little bit about my story just to say that, like, I really get people, the artists that may struggle with that, because I also came from a background where I had to defy the status quo, and it's not always easy, because for me it costed my fashion model career, you know. And
Hmm.
that's where, like, you just get into situations where, yeah, it's not easy. You question things, maybe even financially you struggle because you were kind of dependent on that, and stuff like that. But I would just say, like, at the end of the day, especially as artists, like, if we can't be ourselves, like, there's just
Hmm.
something within us that bothers us, you know, like you feel uh, chained, you feel like limited. And as artists, like, sooner or later, like, if we don't change that, we are going
Hmm.
to feel depressed, we are going to feel bad, we are going to feel
Hmm.
down, and
Yep.
everything just becomes dark in life. Okay, maybe I need to figure out the financial part or whatever, because I need to
Hmm.
shift things, but at least I'm still happy because I know that I'm still being myself and pursuing what is really in my heart, you know. And I think, like, as artists, we have that great power, you know. And if we really just dare to step into that, doors and ways will be opened for us to authentically make our life work, you know, be it in terms of fulfillment,
Hmm.
happiness, financially, career wise, etc., etc. So yeah, it's really like, as an artist, you need to own yourself, and you own your creative expression.
Oh, I love it. Ownership is important. I think that a lot of people don't understand, especially me when I was in my early 20s, that music is a business, just like fashion is a business. And if you approach it as a business, you'll start seeing things change and you don't have to sell your soul. Cause I've been through what you've been through, Daniel, when I was in my 20s, and I could have been somewhere else doing, music or something, because that was my main passion back then. But I like the fact that I didn't sell my soul, because who wants to be in a mansion crying and then being on a whip, being on a leash or something, gotta do what he say or can't do this. And I don't want that. Like, I want to be able to be free. Like, if I don't want to do music if I don't want to travel for a year, I don't have to travel, because one thing people understand, there's different ways to do music, fashion, all these things. It's not always about being famous. You can make money behind the scenes. You can make money doing different things. And I
Mm,
think that's something that needs to be taught more. You get online and you're seeing everybody showing all this money and saying this is how you gotta do it. You really got to be a contrarian in these streets. And Daniel, you're definitely a contrarian because you made your own way. Like, you're like, hey, I don't want to do what you tell me to do. I want to be in control of my fashion and do my own thing. And
mm.
it's okay if you're doing two things, like, like I'm in tech, in tech, I call it my record deal, because tech ended up helping me with more confidence in a way. Everything working together. Do you believe in law of attraction? Do you believe things are intertwined?
Definitely, definitely. Like, nothing is a coincidence. And again, so that's why I'm saying, like, if you dare to own your uniqueness, your creative ability and expression that is authentic to you, true to you, things will line up. You know, things will line up. Doors will open. paths will be created, you will meet the right people, and things like that. And that's where you're going to start creating this heavenly life, as we call it, like a life that is truly aligned to who you are.
I love it. So, do you believe there is a heaven? Like, what is your spiritual background? Do you believe there is a heaven, or do you believe we're in heaven right now? We're doing the best we can. We're reincarnated into a caterpillar, possibly. Like, what do you believe in?
From personal experience, I would say that heaven is a state of being, a state of mind, a state of feeling as well, but also like a location that is like literally like beyond the sky, so to speak. So it's twofold, as I have experienced it. Like when I say that, it's like also because of personal spiritual experiences that I had and things like that, where throughout my life it just became so tangible that there was a point where I couldn't deny it anymore. Like for example, I would talk about angelic encounters and things like that. Or it's almost like you see like there is another world that exists, and things are
Yeah.
happening differently over there, kind of. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was just like, okay, this sounds all crazy, but like I can't deny what I'm seeing. So I
Mm-mm.
got to know that aspect of life or reality. But heaven is also a state of being for sure. So it's
Yeah.
like on earth, in this physical realm, we can either be in heaven or in hell, and it depends on us what we make out of it. Because it's like the future is already present right now, based on what state of being you are in. So we don't have to wait to live heaven on earth for or like after we die to experience that, or we also don't need to die for us to experience quote unquote what people would call hell. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
feel dark, if you feel miserable, if you are like depressed and all of that, that's already like a state of being that portrays like a dark world, so to speak, but
Yeah.
it's happening within you. So that's what I'm saying, like heaven and hell and all of these different things, it's also a state of being within you. And now it also kind of depends on us, to what we are attracted to, and like what are the principles that we apply in our life to maximize either state of being based on what we would choose.
Oh, I love it. Man, you're so tapped in. I love it. So, what books would you recommend to someone that may need some help? Because I do believe entrepreneurship is about mindset. And without the right mindset, it doesn't matter how much money you have or not have, you're not going to get it. So, you have any recommendations?
Is it like specifically to make a business work, or
I think both, like to make a business work and to, I guess, strengthen your mindset to be prepared because we know that it's ups and downs with a business and it's not overnight like how they make it seem on YouTube and TikTok. Like just put a store up and you're rich. It's not that way. That's very this is some exceptions to the rule, but it's not the rule.
yeah. Yeah, in terms of mindset and business success, maybe it might seem a little bit far-fetched, but a book that really inspired me and helped me was The Alchemist from Paulo Coelho. And it's
Yes.
like a storytelling book. So that's why I asked if it has to be business specific. So it's not like business specific, but there are so many real life tangible lessons and principles that you can learn from reading that story of how somebody, a young guy, is trying to live his dream, and try to
Hmm.
follow the signs along the way and interpret them in the right way and give them the right meanings, and trusting the process, like meeting strangers. And yeah, so for me, entrepreneurship symbolizes a little bit the same way, because we have this big idea, we want to make things work for us, be it as an artist, whatever. And it is an unknown path. And with faith, with believing in yourself, with putting yourself out there, like you have to trust the process, you have to read the
Hmm.
signs, You have to be alert because there are some scams out there, snakes, toxic people. So you have to discern like who is who and stuff like that. And the alchemist, like if you truly connect to the story, I think it can help you develop this discernment and sensitivity along the way to, to kind of train your intuition and mind to recognize people and the right opportunities for you.
Oh, I like that. I think being socially aware is so important because if you're not socially aware, and I think I don't, there's even coaches now that teach you how to be people how to be socially aware, how to read personalities and stuff. And I mean, it's one of those things that I had to strengthen over the years, and it's a game changer to be like, all right, this person's not right, and it may not be. It's not always that they're evil. It might just be, well, they're just not gonna get what I'm doing, and then I got to go backwards to try explain it and try to don't got time for that because everybody's not open minded. Like I'm pretty much open minded. You can tell me something crazy. You want to be an astronaut? Okay, let's do it. I can't tell you what you can't do. I'm that type of person. I can never do that. If you need my help to teach you to show you how to be an or like research some information to send to you, I'll do it. But like I think what are some signs of toxic friends that people need to avoid? Because I think sometimes people don't even know what the signs are. What are some signs you've noticed?
I really loved what you said there, where people are not necessarily bad or evil, but they're still not right for you specifically or for what you are trying to do. I think that's the most deceptive one where people waste a lot of time and energy because it's not obviously bad, it's not obviously evil. It's like that nice person that is there smiling at you, but the needle is never going to move, but since they're smiling at
Mm-hmm.
you, you don't actually perceive that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's one of the biggest ones that I also had to learn because I met people in my life where you have nice conversations with them, good conversations with them, and then in the conversation maybe you would ask them some questions, and then they ask you some questions, and then they say, oh, how did you do that, how did you move forward, and so on and so forth. And then you would tell them, and then some time goes by, maybe some weeks, and then you talk again and you are like, oh, so how did that go? Yeah, I was a little bit busy and stuff like that. And you're like, oh yeah, life happens, blah, blah, blah. And then some
Mm-hmm.
months later, okay, so what happened with that? Oh yeah, and that's where I'm like, okay, so we spent all this time talking, you seemed so serious, so invested in it, but weeks and months later, you haven't done anything. And for me, like
Mm-hmm.
people that are not true to their words, like you say something and you don't follow up on it, for me, like that's a clear sign that we can't move forward. Because again, it looks nice, it sounds nice, it smells nice, but nothing is happening. And at the end of the day, you want something to happen. And yeah, so people have to take action. So if you see somebody like procrastinating and stuff like that, like try to spot them early, by asking some intelligent questions, like maybe ask them about their projects, what they have been doing, and you
Mm-hmm.
with time you just will develop this sensibility to sense if somebody's like an action taker, or if they really take seriously what they're telling you, or what you would be telling them.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's really good because who you hang around with, you become, they say, it rubs off on you. That's in a lot of books, and a lot of successful people say that, or just people that want to just be at peace. So that's some good advice right there. So with artificial intelligence going on, I would like to know, what are your thoughts on artificial intelligence? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's okay? Just have some ethical procedures? What are your thoughts?
Oof, that's a great question. Big topic, topic of the century, I guess. I would say it was inevitable, like because as human beings, we always strive for more. We strive for development. We have this creativity where we always want to develop and move forward and innovate, and create new things. So sooner or later, we were going to come up with something like AI. So for me, that's like on that end, it's a positive sign because it means that we still have people on Earth that are still creative, and push humanity forward. And obviously with AI, like I have looked into it a little bit, where you see a lot of positive development. It might be even in the medical fields, where like AI computers can scan your body in a certain way, perceive cancer before the human
Hmm.
doctors would, stuff like that. And it's just mind blowing what's happening in the space. So in general, it is a positive thing, and at the same time it can
Hmm.
also be negative, which simply means that AI at the end of the day is neutral, because it depends on what we are going to make out of it. So if we
Hmm.
use it in a responsible way, obviously it's going to be tremendous, great, positive and everything. And then if we use it in a bad way, to control people, to manipulate people, and so on and so forth, we are going to have a very devastating experience, just because this tool AI that we created is that powerful. So it can
Hmm.
powerfully propulse us into a better future, or it can powerfully destroy us as well. And maybe,
Yeah.
like, besides the positive things that I mentioned, some of the concerns that I would personally voice for myself, is like, they were talking about connecting our brains to a certain AI technology and stuff like that. Because, for example,
Oh
if you
yeah.
a handicap or something, like your brain is not connected maybe to your arm or to your leg, and that's why, like, you can't move it properly. But that AI, if it's planted in, it would rebuild the neurons or something they call it, the neural links, and
Yeah.
then you're able to move your arms again. But at the same time, it's like AI is not like, it's almost replacing your consciousness or your awareness. And that's
Mhm.
where, like, it's very yeah, like, how
Slippery
deep.
slope. Slippery slope.
Yeah. So yeah, and so it is a very delicate subject. So it's really like
Yeah.
how people, like the ones that created it, the scientists, the tech guys, and also then ultimately the governments, because they are going to be regulating everything, obviously, how they are going to manage all of this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, me being a tech, AI person, I love tech. I do think there's some things that need to be fixed about it. Like if we have the Tesla robots coming around, and I mean, there's so many movies. I'm a movie buff, but there's so many movies and stuff where the robots attacking, and I do believe that if the code is not set right, the modeling is not set right with the code, it could. I don't know. I mean, these robots could start having their own feelings and just start
Right.
coming after you. But
They seem to become conscious more and more, and
yeah.
learning themselves. Like, it's not even us programming everything into them. It's like, we provide the base code, and then based on that
Yeah.
code, they develop their own life, their own
Yeah.
reality, own feelings and thoughts and conclusions, and you're just like, where is this going to go?
Yeah. I'm
And
like,
and I
it's like you
also,
want the help, but you want the
yeah,
help. You want a robot to come clean up, but I don't
yeah.
know.
And as you said, like, I also watch movies like, I think it was called I, Robot or Terminator and stuff like
Yup.
that.
Yup.
And the
Yup.
Tesla robots look like these robots back in the days from the movie, and you're just like, is that even a coincidence? Or, like, like, what is
That's what I'm
actually
saying.
happening there? Yeah, like,
I be
something is
thinking that
definitely up,
too.
but what? I don't really know.
I know, right? But I think people better keep their head on the swivel. That's how I say
Yeah,
it. That's how I
yeah.
see it. So Daniel, what projects do you have coming up with that you would like to tell the audience about?
Mm. Yeah, I guess I would just mention the community again. So, together with my wife, like, we founded the community, yeah, this year, and we're just very passionate about it, wanting to create like this community of like-minded people, artists, dreamers, visionaries, creatives that wants to make the world a better place, basically, and use their gifts and talents, their creativity to make that happen. It might be through music, through
Mhm.
paintings, through fashion, in all kinds of ways. And we just want to provide this space for us to connect, for us to grow together, learn together, and then also to collaborate together. Because like
Mhm.
if we are like-minded, if we are motivated and passionate about the same bigger vision, which is a better world or whatever you want to call it, why not work together to actually make that happen?
Mhm.
um, and so yeah, that's what we are going to focus on for some time.
Yay, that's so great. And they can just join the website. I'm going to add it in the show notes, but you can shout out the website so and all your socials.
Yeah, so the community is hosted on a platform called School. So if you go to school.com,
Oh.
Transfigured Universe, you will find the community there. And otherwise, you can just reach out to me on Instagram. The handle is Daniel Timothy Caleb. And if you just write me a DM or something, yeah, I will reply to you and just provide all the details and answer your questions about it.
Yay, join. I've heard of school. I think Alex Harmozy started that program. Or is he I think he's promoting it. He's promoting it,
Exactly,
but
exactly, yeah.
yeah, it seems like a good platform. So yeah, definitely support Daniel artists because artists need that support. It's a lonely road for us artists. And like what advice do you have for artists that are insecure because they feel this is a competitive market? They feel like, "Oh, I can't do anything." Like what advice do you have to them to keep going?
Um, like as an individual, I would really say to really like go deeper within yourself to really discover who you are, because that's where you're going to discover your uniqueness. And it sounds kind of
Mhm.
corny and oversimplified, but that's really what I believe is going to set you apart once you have gone deep enough, and you just realize, okay, this is me, this is my gift, this is what I feel like sharing with the world. And I truly believe that every artist is unique, just by
Mhm.
the way we have been born. But then like you add all the life experiences we had, like nobody experienced our life, and that's such a
Mhm.
unique perspective that a group of people is looking forward to hear, to see, to watch. If you are a movie producer, like there are so many ways how you can express that and describe life to us through your lens. I find that such a beautiful thing. So that would be that. And then at the same time, like as I said it for myself, like it's really my own journey where I was alone when I was doing certain things, and today I'm not anymore. And I would just
Mhm.
have preferred that that was already the case back then. So if
Yeah.
you can connect to other artists wherever you are, there are so many, I think, also places where you can find them, and just connect with each other and encourage each other. I think that goes a long way. Sometimes you just need to have somebody acknowledge your expertise and your
Mhm.
genius, because
Mhm.
artists, we understand each other, so sometimes we need that validation to keep being motivated and encouraged to keep going. So it's really discover who you truly are, because that's your true power. And then also try to surround yourself with other artists that really understands the 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 creative side of life.
I love it. Yes, because it does help to have that community. So yes, please join Transfigurative Community. Everyone on school, it'll help you out, especially artists that are just nervous and feel like they're in this big ocean of people of artists everywhere and you're trying to compete. Just compete with yourself. So before we close out, I always ask every guest, what's a saying or quote that you go by?
What's the quote that I go by? Mm, I would say your source of wisdom determines your quality of life.
Snap, snap. And there you have it. I love it. I want to thank you for coming on to the pod today. I'm so grateful and blessed and honored to have you on. And I want to thank everybody for listening. Please subscribe to Welcome Podcast, support us, help us grow so we can get the message out. And everybody be safe out there. Peace.